Hey guys, this is Locke. As you can see, I'm doing the very hard 3-star field exploration with this team. Um, and I've shown a picture of this before in the Discord channel, and the very first thing that I got, like the first comment was like, wow, I'm really surprised that you're doing this with Kade as your tank. That's really impressive. The secret is, I actually can't do this with any other tank. I can only do this with Kade because Kade has a special skill that lets me do this and other hard challenges a lot easier than I would with any other tank in the game. So I want you to pay attention to this video, not because you can do, the very hard 3-star exploration, but you might have difficulty with other bosses, and you can do a similar setup with Kade as your main tank to have some way of dealing with it. So let me talk about that. So first of all, I'm going to show you Kade's skill set, and there's one very specific skill that lets me do this. That skill is his first active skill. If you see the effect of it, basically it decreases the dealt damage by almost 50%. This debuff lasts for 20 seconds and has a skill cooldown of 21 seconds. The skill cooldown actually starts at 30 seconds, but I'm actually fairly easily able to get it down to 21. I don't need something like crazy. Like, I don't actually need this, Transcend 5 helm. When a +1 helm works, like a Transcend 1 helm, I'm still able to get it down to 21 seconds. When I did this, it was at Transcend 1, and I was trying to get it from 21 seconds to 20 seconds, and going from 1 to 5, that didn't help. So this will work even at Transcend 1. It might even work at Transcend 0. I don't have a Transcend 0 helm to test, but for sure it'll work at Transcend 1. So how do we get it down to 21 seconds? I'm actually going to start with Rudy to give you an example. Where is he now? Rudy, where is he? Okay. Because I removed all my gear from him to illustrate the point, and now I can't find the guy. Damn. Oh, here he is. Okay. So if you look at, we'll go to the equipment screen because it makes it easier to see. If you look at him, he has, let me remove that. Okay, so he has a 5.2% skill cooldown decrease. I feel like everyone actually starts with that. Everyone has around a 5% skill cooldown, and this is before you add anything. Now, if I look at the 4 main characters in my team, which is these 4, you will notice that the skill cooldown actually it's not those 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yes. 3 and 4, not Chris, but these 4. So you'll notice that all 4 of them actually have a skill cooldown decrease of about 10%, not 5.2. So where does that extra 5% come from? After some tests, I've determined that it actually comes from a divinity. Now, I don't know why it works this way. I would have assumed that the divinity actually works for everyone in your party, but for some reason, it only works for the 4 people that are in your current formation. So to get my skill cooldown to 10.2%, I only need about a 9 divinity. Now I say only, it might be a bit difficult to get to 9, but it's so much more difficult to get to 10. I've tried like 30 times and I've failed. So it's a really difficult exercise to actually get level 10 divinity for some reason. But hopefully you can get to level 9. If you can't get to level 9, hopefully you can get to level 8. And maybe you have like a 9% skill cooldown instead of a 10%. So with that's your base, right? And if you have a base of about 10% skill cooldown, you can add 24%. Sorry, you can add 14% to that 10 to get a 24 by just having a base, Oath of the Soothsayer set, because that gives you a 14% increase to that cooldown reduction effect. So you basically start already with the 24% skill cooldown, and that already is getting you most of this cooldown. It starts at 30 seconds, right? 24% of 30% already reduces it down to something like 23 or 22 seconds. With the helm, like a +0 or +1 helm that has a, like this red set, additionally gives you, I think, 80 skill cooldown decrease. 80 is like 4 additional points. Every 20 points is 1%. So this goes from 24% to 28%. And 28% is enough that I had something like 21 seconds already with just that. So I don't actually need this to be, +5. I think I already mentioned that, but you only need a +1, like a Transcend 1 helm. Maybe even a Transcend 0 helm might have worked, to get him to be able to use this on a loop. Like, he can use it every 21 seconds. You don't even need this item that I have on him. This is a time acceleration ring. Every 3 basic attack decreases his cooldown by 1. So he actually casts it even faster than 20 seconds. But I'm actually going to replace this soon with like some other defensive item. But already, I'm like even without that, I'm already having him cast it on a pretty significant loop. I'm actually stacking this with Karen's skill. And you can see the skill cooldown here is 19 seconds, lasts for 20 seconds. So both of these things are always going to be active. Karen's skill decreases the boss's attack by 33%. His skill decreases the boss's damage dealt by almost 50%. Stack both of these together, and the boss is going to deal very little damage. As you can see, I've already defeated this guy, and I wasn't even paying attention to what he was doing. I was just talking about it this entire time, and he's almost dead. I actually find Phasma is even easier to defeat. He's at 23%, now he's 26%. And I've been doing this for a while. I can do it almost completely on auto. The boss for this stage is actually, I can't do it on auto because he does too many attacks in quick succession and targets Karen, and basically Karen dies and the whole team falls apart. But everyone else I can easily do. But I'm actually not here to talk about the the very hard stage like 3-star. I'll talk about it a little bit later on. But I just think that this is a very important tool for players to have and make use of, because it lets you take on enemies that might be doing too much damage to you. Other units, like for example Rudy or Evan or the legendary plus Rudy, they have different things in their skill set. Like they typically have a shield that's going to shield your entire party, but the shield doesn't have 100% coverage. You have to get your Shay to be using her ultimate very, very often to have a chance of getting this to 100%. But I think it's just so much easier to just bring Kade's skill cooldown and just drastically reduce the boss's damage that way. That's basically going to affect your whole party. It's like you're having a shield, but instead of having an outright shield, you just reduce the boss's damage by almost 50%. Maybe you won't get to 50% at if you don't have a +3 belt, but you'll probably be able to get to level 11, which is a 42%, which is still pretty significant, right? Obviously, if you're doing this, you're not going to use the skill plus set. You're going to use the cooldown set. And I think that's where a lot of people haven't realized how to utilize this properly, because often for tanks, we want to put block set or we want to put defense set, right? I've never seen anybody mention to put a cooldown set on them before. And I tried it out with them, and I'm like, wow, this cooldown reduction is like awesome on him, because it gives him such a huge coverage. It also reduces the time for his passive to come down as well. So I think it started at like 100 seconds or something, but now it's only 63 seconds, which is like drastically short, right? Like even the pet skill is like 3 minutes. This is about 1 minute. You can cast it. Well, you don't cast it, but his passive kicks in every 1 minute. That's pretty significant. So I feel like I feel like a lot of people aren't really used to thinking of Kade as a main tank, but I think he's one of the best for this specific reason. So how does this team work right now? So not only does he provide this skill, which drastically reduces the boss's damage, but he also has this skill as well, which decreases the defense of the boss. So he also increases the damage output of your whole team as well. So that's why I can kind of take these bosses down relatively quickly. I have 1 tank, 2 healers, and then a DPS. But because my tank also decreases the defense, my DPS does a lot more damage than he normally would. Like I've seen people talking about this stage before, the very hard 3-star field, but most of the time they're saying that I'll probably bring like 1 tank and 3 healers or something like that, and it takes a very long time to kill these bosses, so it's not worth it for the hassle, right? So instead, a team like this would work. It still does take some time. Like I can kill one of these monsters like once every 10 minutes, and that might sound like a long time, because it is. Usually I can at least do like 5 or 6 whole rotations of these within 10 minutes. But I mean, my green maps are already limited anyway. So if it takes like 10 minutes to kill one and I have a little bit higher drops from these, then I think it's worth it, right? Because I don't have an unlimited amount of green maps. So if I can do it, I think I'll just do it. Even if it takes a little bit longer, I'm not actively playing it. It's just like autoing in the background while I'm doing something else. So I think this is worth it for me. And you might be able to get to this stage as well. I don't know if you need to be at 160 KCP. Maybe you can do it a little bit lower. But this was the first time I tried it. I didn't, think about Kade seriously until like a few days ago when I did him for a different video. And then I tried to utilize him, and I'm like, wow, this guy is actually like pretty great, pretty phenomenal, and I can do a lot with him. So because I have Kade on the cooldown set, Karen now gets the defense set because she is kind of the center of this party, right? Because she has two skills that are increasing the two skills that heal everybody, and I really need her to survive. So I mean, like, her defense is at 3.2k. One thing that I want to mention is that I'm actually not using Kade to my full potential either, because his potential is like crappy. I don't even know why I have 3 attack in his potential. I think I meant to do 333, and then I ran out of the gray elixir. Now, I mean, I have some now. Maybe I can put him there. But his defense is at 2.8k. So if you don't have, if you aren't able to get his defense up because of the gear, maybe you can put potential in his gear to get it up. At level 12 potential, it's you get an additional 256 defense. At level 15 potential, you get 448 defense. So you can, you can play around with the potential to make him more tankier as well. If he's not able to survive what you're doing with just the skill, if the skill isn't enough, you still have the potential to invest in him that I'm not doing, that you can bring him up higher so that you can do more difficult bosses, more difficult challenges. I see a lot of people that say that they get stuck in the Chapter 8 Pasma boss, so he might be a perfect tank to use for that, because no matter who the boss is targeting, if the boss is targeting Karen or like your DPS or whatever, the boss's damage is going to be reduced because you're using Kade as your tank. And Kade also has the taunt skill as well. So once in a while, even if the boss changes targets, you can get the taunt back. It's not a 100% chance to taunt, but it is something. And sometimes these like really hard boss challenges takes you a few tries to get anyway. This run isn't perfect, by the way. Like, I do fail sometimes, but it's enough. Like, I've right now, like, somebody died, but Karen gets them up, and sometimes I don't mind using the pet skill anyway if I'm watching it. This is not perfect, but it does work. Like, I think I can do like 6 or 7 of these bosses before it fails. If the boss happens to get like 2 or 3 attacks in on Karen and she dies, and then the others just aren't able to res her. And congrats to this guy who got the Legend plus Ming. You can see, this. So that's awesome. This guy happened to get it from the summon shop. Awesome luck, dude. But yeah, I hope this video helps you guys. You don't have to get the latest tank. I feel like this guy is enough for a lot of these scenarios. For other scenarios, it doesn't matter what your tank you have. You need the resistant tank, right? Like, you need like Gui for the fire bosses. You need Adele for the ice bosses. But for bosses that you don't need you don't need a specific resistant tank, I think Kade is actually like one of the top ones I would think of now for PvE scenarios and PvE bosses. Because this skill is pretty phenomenal. I'm surprised that more people haven't talked about it, but they probably didn't think about it because they didn't think that you could bring his cooldown down all the way from 30 seconds to like 20. So I hope this video helps you guys, and I hope that it gives you guys ideas and different ways to tackle challenges that you are not able to do yet. Anyway, that's it from now. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you have other questions or comments, or if there's something specific you want to know about, Kade, or how to utilize this properly, I hope it helps you guys out. And anyway, I hope you guys have a good holiday season, and I hope to see you guys next time. Take care, guys.